Now, the next step to solve is how does Visual Studio find this class library, this DLL? And the simplest way for it to find it, there are others, but the simplest way to find it is to put it in the Global Assembly Cache, or the GAC. That's a useful approach when you are under development, so that you don't have to scatter trusted locations all over your development machine. The only trick, of course, is remember every time you make a change to update the copy in the GAC. Otherwise, you keep running it and you say, gee, it's running my old code, because you didn't update your copy in the GAC. Now, to go into the Global Assembly Cache, assemblies need to be signed. So I need to go to my project's properties, go onto the Signing tab, and click Sign the Assembly. Ask it to generate me a new name. Call it Greeting. I don't want a password on it. And we are now ready to roll with these settings. Build again. Now we have a DLL. And if I go into my Visual Studio's projects, here's the greeting wizard. Here's the project, bin, debug, and here's the DLL that was just made. I need this path. I have a Visual Studio command prompt, and it's elevated because what I'm going to do here, putting a DLL into the Global Assembly Cache, is an administrator thing to do. So I need to change directories to this path. The C: part gets ignored, but it works because I was on C. And we'll just do a directory to confirm, yep, that's where I need to be. And I'm going to use the GAC util command. The GAC util command works with the GAC. -I for insert. And if you press tab, it'll just pop you up the first file name, which is exactly what I want. I don't need to type that. Great. Assembly successfully added to the cache. I'm going to use up arrow to get my DOS command back again. And I need to take off the .dll and change the -I to a -l for list. This tells me the information about the DLL that's been put into the assembly. Greeting wizard, version, culture neutral, public key token, and so on. And I'm in fact going to need some of this information to paste into my XML. So I'm just going to highlight the whole thing and press enter. Now that's in my copy buffer, and I'm going to need that in a moment in the XML. So in the same place where I just edited instructions.txt, you can see the mytemplate.vs template. So we need to open that in Visual Studio so I can get some IntelliSense. And you see we have that template data section and the template content section. After both of these, I'm going to add a wizard extension. And I get IntelliSense to help me through this. So inside the wizard extension, and if you didn't know, you could just ask, it tells you, you need an assembly. And the assembly tag, it needs most of what just came from the GAC, but not the processor architecture. Okay, and I'm just going to glue these back up again. Let's get rid of the properties. It's important to glue this public key token back together again if it's split by coming out of the command prompt. So that's my wizard extension. And you see I'm getting blue wigglies, there's something else needed. And it tells you a list of possible elements expected are assembly and full class name. So it kind of works you through this. You might think you don't know how to do it, but it will help you through it. So my full class name is my namespace followed by my class. So greeting wizard is my namespace dot greeting wizard info is my class name. Right? That is now my VS template XML. So I'm going to save that also, and looking here in my exported templates instructions, I want to refresh the zip file, and I have here in this Visual Basic folder the instructions.zip that was created in the demo for item templates. So I'm going to take these two files and drag them onto this zip file, replace and replace. So now I've refreshed the template. The VS Template wizard extension section in the XML connects this item template now into the class library that's been put into the GAC. The implementation of run started inside that class library, which is just one of the functions in the iWizard interface, is what puts up the form and puts something in the replacement dictionary, and then the extra text that I've added in the substituting file uses what was put into the replacements dictionary. Now, although that seems like a whole lot of work, we're really a long way from done. This form is pretty woeful. It should have a logo on it. It should have, should look more wizardy. Maybe you'd like to have finish instead of done. Maybe you'd like next and back. I'm leaving all of that in the hope that we can just actually make this guy work. So with that done, what I now need to do is to test and see if it'll work. And I have another copy of Visual Studio open with a Visual Basic project in it. Remember, we put this in the Visual Basic templates. Even though the class library is written in C#, the template's under VB, and it's producing a VB compatible text file, which of course would be the same as a C# compatible text file. So I'm going to add it into this Windows application that I have kicking around written in VB. So I go in here and say add new item. And when I scroll down, there's instructions as before. And I'm just going to call it a different name, say step 2. And now when I hit add, the wizard comes up, okay, asking for extra information. So this is what I told the wizard. And I click done, and we get exactly that. This is what I told the wizard, generated into the file because of the extra work. So quite a few moving parts, quite a few bits and pieces, but all told, not a multi-hour activity to be able to ask someone a question or two and include the answers to those questions or decisions based on the answers to those questions in the file you generate for them. Really customize what you generate for them.